Hi, folks. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you being here and watching the premiere. I see we have a few people who've joined the room, joined the live already. I'm just gonna assume that most of the people that are here are people who are in the premiere of episode 295. 295. That's a lot. Uh, Trista and Lisa says that was such a sad story. It's been 4 years, and you can actually still feel their pain. And Viola is here. Welcome, Viola. Thank you for joining us. And there's Kimberly. Thank you for being here. And Cindy is here. Thank you all for joining us. And so let's talk about this episode a little bit, the one that just premiered. And let me know what you think. Is the storyteller here? Lisa. Is the storyteller here? Lisa would know. Lisa Lisa was there. So we have had more inquiries. We had an inquiry from Arkansas today from someone who wants to share their story, and we will certainly figure out how to make that happen for them. Raylan's fentanyl death was the first time I ever heard about fentanyl. Hmm. Hello, Sabrina. Welcome. Thank you for being here with us. I don't think so. I don't think Miss Sabrina joined. She was having a rough time with the premiere coming out. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I think is that Sabrina right there? Sabrina Juan, WHON 5096 maybe. And there's Patrick. Okay, so that's Patrick. All right. All right, I understand now. Sweet. Welcome, storyteller or storytellers, whoever is here. I am very grateful for you being here and being a part of this. It's such an important message to reach people with your story. One of the things that happens when these stories publish is the outpouring of comments that come in kind of becomes a secondary support group that helps people to I don't know if it helps them deal with their grief, but it helps them recognize that there is a little bit of value coming from their terrible loss, and that that it is that by sharing it, it is saving lives, and it is definitely saving lives. Viola says their story was a short, concise, and effective. They were clearly taken by surprise, and I marvel at their strength in spite of their profound loss. Their faith, their faith is really sustaining them. And there is another thing for Sabrina and Patrick, that the sharing all that you shared about faith is It's a wonderful way to guide people in the audience toward a faithful kind of life. And that's an extra thing that you get to do. It's not band practice at the church. Okay. When I hear band, I picture like the high school thing or the college thing with the marching but I'm guessing that's not that, Patrick. But yes, faith is a phenomenal thing, Black Rain. Faith is uh, faith is powerful. Lisa says, "Agree, Black Rain. We all pray that it is saving another child and family from our unexpected tragic loss." You're responding to Black Rain saying there's a great deal of value through their sharing. I everybody grows when someone shares a story. Totally believe that. I think that there is spectacular value. Lisa says Mr. Patrick is great. Y'all did great. I'm so happy that y'all decided to attend Tristan's event and share Raylan's story. Thank you so much. And Black Rain says thank you for sharing, Tristan, meaning Lisa. And Kim, faith is like mustard seed. Okay, okay, Kim, I'll bite. What? Dr. Joy. Dr. Joy? Like Texas A&M opioid task force chair, Dr. Joy? Oh, give her a minute. Carla will be here. Carla Brad will come on and ask me how I keep my youthful appearance again. But I don't understand the mustard seed comment, Kimberly. That's a new. I wouldn't recognize a mustard seed if I saw one. I don't think so. Doctor Joy, is that you? Or am I thinking of someone else? A mustard seed is small. Okay, not a whole lot of detail there, but okay. I appreciate what you share. So, Doctor Joy, yeah, I'm just captivated to find out if this is the Doctor Joy I'm thinking of, or if it might be someone else. But it appears she has gone quiet. Black Rain says it simply infers that one's faith can be so small yet still allows one to overcome life's obstacles. Okay, thank you, Black Rain. I didn't make that connection. I tend to embrace the more literal kinds of things, I suppose, more than I should. Nice, Kim. Yeah. So who else is with us? Who else who is in on the premiere can join us? Tell us a little bit about what they thought. Well, that's right, Lisa. I am at Texas Pictures headquarters tonight. I'm not on the road. When I'm at the headquarters, we have a better setup than when I'm in a hotel room on the road somewhere. So I think this set looks better than what we're able to do when we're in a hotel. So we had when we were in Mississippi, we had a technical problem with the camera we shoot our interviews with, and we had a backup, and we had to use the backup to shoot some of the interviews, and it wasn't much of a hiccup really in how things worked, and technically the problem wasn't really with the camera, it was with the battery charger. The battery charger just quit working, and so without power, the camera can't work. So it was a mess. Black Rain says, just to clarify further, it's a biblical saying found in Matthew 17:20. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, okay, good one. Good one, Black Rain. Move from here to there and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you if you have faith the size of a mustard seed. Hmm, very good. Were you the Don? Were you the first interview we did with the backup camera? I feel I'm watching it. I was watching this story and a couple of the others. The two cameras that we have work differently in terms of how they process video stuff, and there's a little bit that's better. It looks like to me. There's something that just kind of stood out to me. It's a very subtle thing. If none of you noticed it, I'm not going to point it out. It's a very subtle, technical kind of thing. Someone said, Rain's Mama, hey, there's coffee. Yes, we have coffee cups for sale on our website, or it'll take you to our, yeah, coffee cups like this. Self cleaning black coffee mugs. As long as you drink black coffee, you never have to wash them. It's great. Let me see where I'm at. Yeah, I appreciate the comment, Black Rain. We've been there's a wonderful element of faith in many of the stories that we publish. Not just fentanyl stories, but recovery stories, cannabis induced psychosis stories. I said recovery, didn't I? Cannabis-induced psychosis, human trafficking, and domestic violence stories. There's a lot of our storytellers really embrace their faith as a source for strength, and it works. It works. How is it self-cleaning? Brad says, and how it is self. I really don't know. It's some sort of magic, but as long as you just drink black coffee, it stays clean. It kind of looks like something's moving in there. Oh, it's all right. All right, so well, we don't. Lisa, I get excited about all the premieres as well. That there's a thing when we do these interviews, I know that the storyteller or storytellers are going to, at the end of the interview, they're going to feel better than when they sat down, and not just because it's over. They feel better. You can see it. You can see as they unload. You can see them. I don't know, grateful to get to share, embracing the experience, and grateful that they're a part of something that maybe pulls just a little bit of value out of their terrible loss. And whatever it is, it is a little bit healing for them. I see it. Now, maybe it only lasts a short time. Maybe it only lasts 15, 20 minutes, but it still counts. And there's this way cool thing that happens when I put that roll of lifesavers in their hand after the interview. It makes them cry, but it's a different kind of cry. And I give them the T-shirt. It's really, I feel like, I feel like there's a real healing thing to it. We have quite a few storytellers in the room now. We've got Dawn and Lisa and Brad and Carla and um, Ann Peterson. He was catching minnows. I feel like I've missed some stuff going on in the chat here. This is this is my belief is with King Jesus. If not for him, I'd be lost. I'm very thankful for what Jesus has given me. Amen. Amen. AKA mama, AKA wife. Mom, AKA wife. My friend Melissa I told her she can catch up and watch the story. Yeah, it's very simple to find the stories on our channel later. Fairly simple anyway. Let me see what else. Lisa said, yes, I told several people the message that messaged me that had to work and couldn't watch the show right now. I said you can watch it later. That's a good question, Brad. How long does grief last? I don't think it ever goes away. It changes, and you find a place for it to be in your life and stay there. It's it's what you got. AKA says good night. I'm turning in. Good night. AKA, thank you for being here. Brad, I think with our child's death, it's forever. Yeah, it probably should be forever. It shouldn't go away. It evolves over time. Okay, Don says, I felt better after I filmed, and yes, it did still count. Still have most bad days, nights are hard for me. I understand. I don't know what to make of this. I got a message from YouTube saying the audio level is audio bit rate is lower than it should be. Okay, let me see where I'm at. Hoodies and zippers. For me, it was like a total release of my emotions, says Lisa. And yeah, it is. It's really. It's not. It's not my doing. I just. I just kind of listen and ask an occasional open-ended guiding question and facilitate. But I don't know. I don't know how to explain what the what the magic is that happens. But it's obviously there and it's wonderful. Grief lasts forever, Carla says, and it just Black Rain says it just softens. Yeah, maybe, or maybe the person dealing with it finds a place where grief can live within them. That sounds reasonable, doesn't it? I feel like the grief thing is such a challenge. Carla, unfortunately, I think you're right. I feel like my grief gets worse each day that passes, but I still have gotten up for 305 days and raised awareness and kept Tristan's memory alive. Sheila's World of Fun. Hello, Sheila. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you guys being here. Mine has gotten worse too. Time doesn't heal at all. Here's what time does, I think. Over time, you grow. Everybody grows, regardless of what kind of loss you've had or victories you've had. Everybody grows over time. If you're dealing with grief, that affects the direction of your growth, but it evolves even if it doesn't lessen, even if it doesn't get better, it gets manageable in different ways. And that's a pretty significant thing, I believe. You have to have some you have to have some faith that there is something better in the future. Well, growth is, gosh, Carla, growth doesn't necessarily have to be positive, but growth is when you learn things, and I'm sure you've learned some new things about you in the course of this dealing with this terrible loss. That's growth too. You know, guys, Brad, Carla, I wish you guys were closer to Houston. Brad, you know there's no traffic in Houston, right? It would be cool. I would love to be able to see you guys more often. Miss Sheila, that's a good question. I haven't answered that question in a while. I'll get to it in a moment. Carla, not when we lose our children is totally different pain and loss like I never imagined. Like I'm here for it for you, Carla, Brad too. So. And Black Rain says, unfortunately, it manifests because we haven't truly reached the last phase of grief, which truly is acceptance. Now, here's something that you're talking about the stages of grief, and here's some things that I have learned as an observer about the stages of grief. Is that calling them stages really implies that you get out of one and get into the next one. It doesn't really seem to work that way. People bounce around. It's more like buckets of grief. Like there's five big buckets and they bounce from one to the other. They will be in denial sometimes, still thinking when the phone rings that it's their loved one, or then bouncing from that to anger or bargaining or whatever. That there's a lot of bouncing around. It You don't go through the process in order. You don't get to number five and run a victory lap. You bounce around. And so the other thing that I've heard from many of the storytellers that I've talked with is there is really a sixth stage of grief. And that sixth stage is purpose. And that's that stage that gets people to sit down and share their story with us or with whoever. It certainly doesn't have to be us. We're doing what we can. We're not special. We're just doing what we can. Uh, Purpose helps. It helps with the grief, I believe. Doesn't make it go away. Maybe it just distracts from the pain because it creates an opportunity to make the loss have a little bit of value. Maybe. I feel like Dawn says I feel like my new purpose, besides being there for our other four kids and four grandkids, is Cody's 501c3 nonprofit foundation. I know he would be proud of me. And if I can save one person, you're saving more than one person. One person is enough. I get what you're saying, but it keeps getting paid forward and paid forward. You're in the fight. You're contributing. You're living in the world. Traffic over there. Probably someone from CNN or something. It'll be fine. So, Lisa says that's so true, but horrible, Brad. I feel like Tristan's death killed me in every way, but physically. So I understand that your daughter Carla is totally different. And Lisa says, Dawn, yes, he would, meaning yes, he would be proud of you. He is proud of you. Must be. Must be. He must be involved in your efforts. Must be. Must be guiding you some, watching you, cheering you on. Mm, let's see. I wind up getting Carla and Brad, you are stronger than you realize. From Viola, you're stronger than you realize. Staying on a healing grind through conversations such as this. Yes, there is a bouncing around. That's definitely a thing. You know, we have. I feel like I saw something. Sorry, we have a lot of bouncing around. We we have several counselors that we talk to on a regular basis, and we talk to them about how people deal with grief and about things that are relevant to our channel, and they give us some feedback, and that's one of the things that they really embrace is that whole concept of bouncing from bucket to bucket rather than stage to stage. That there's no that you roughly kind of go through the order, but you bounce back and forth, one step forward, two steps back, that kind of thing. Sorry, there is no. All right. Black Rain says, well, let me see where I'm at. Lisa says, Carly, yes, and our children were at the age their life should just be beginning, and we had built this relationship with them. Then, like it's like I miss everything about Tristan all the time. I think you kind of have to. If you don't, then you did it wrong. You can't be all in as a parent unless you're all devastated at the loss. But when one truly accepts that it wasn't their fault, unfortunately, their loved one will never return. Black Rain says they accept the reality and finally able to move on because they can focus on their purpose. Yeah, I feel like a lot of our storytellers would have a problem with the term moving on. They wouldn't say it's moving on because that implies leaving them behind, and they don't do that. But it is moving with purpose. It's that, and I think it's figuring out a way to embrace their loved one and kind of carry them with them on this journey of purpose that they're on. Rain's mom is asking, is Brenda here? I have not seen Brenda. She ought to be at like day 417, 418, something like that. And I heard from her a couple of days ago with she emailed me some title ideas for this cannabis story that we're about to publish. That we're close. Mm, 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 Close. We're close. And Risk is here. Welcome, Risk. Glad to see you here. Dawn, never will we stop fighting for them. Kimberly says I'm the same way here in Memphis. Brad's asking about Nux. Okay, we did hear from. Remember, we heard from Brenda about Nux last time. Last time Brenda was here, and that Nux just has a lot going on and hasn't been able to get on. Uh, Mandy says this is such a weird club to exist in, and honestly, I hate it. But I'm glad I'm not here alone. That's the quandary, isn't it? Nobody wants to be in that kind of club. I'm not really in that club, but I know lots of people who are. I have many dear friends who are in that club, and they're wonderful people. And I love finding ways to help them if I can. Carla says, "Hi, Risk. Hope you're doing well. Risk, I'm hanging in there. My motto," Kimberly says, "my motto is I won't take no for an answer. And I'm very persistent." Lisa says to Mandy, "So true. I hate that we're in this club, but I'm beyond blessed by all of you." Right? Isn't there a kind of bizarre, when we have these storytelling summits, we typically have a space. Like in Mississippi, it was the hotel lobby where people get to because I'm behind in the schedule. They People have to wait and they hang out and socialize, and the type of connection that happens really fast. is awesome in that setting. That people that just met are hugging each other and they're crying and they're laughing and they're bouncing back and forth between crying and laughing, showing each other pictures or telling stories, or some real magic happens there. It's very cool. John says, I agree, Mandy, so true. Brad's asking, are our dogs nice? Yeah, they are. They are nice. And now I lost my spot. Oh, there we are. Okay. Carla, the coloring book. Yeah, you got to do that. You got to. That'd be beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, you should really do that. So, yeah, the dogs are friendly. They're wimpy, friendly dogs. Wonderful dogs. Friendly. They have uh, big bark. But bartender's twin. Okay. Hello, bartendress. Bartender's twin. Okay. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you're here. Grief is custom made for our individual journey, says Sheila. It doesn't matter if our child or other close, if it's our child or other close losses. Of course, our child has a special place in our grieving process. I've heard people say that grief is love with nowhere to go. Lisa, I worried about the unhoused people that are someone's kids. Brad says, I have to ask, my granddaughter's name was Rain. May I ask about Black Rain? Surely. Mandy says, I didn't realize until after filming that Gage and Raylan had a person in common. His friend that drove from Texas to come to his funeral was a foster child in Raylan's family. Oh, that's a way cool thing. Viola says, for those that haven't watched the 3-part cannabis series, please do. The 3-part cannabis series, that's the more technical presentation with Dr. Catherine Antley. Oh, I got it. About that. Well, it impressed me. I remembered her name. Yeah, it is. It is a technical presentation, but it is full of a substantial amount of facts. And we have more stories like that coming. And we also have a story about cannabis as an effective treatment against brain tumors in children, like a 3-year old. Lisa says, yes, Kim, I do too. And with the government shutdown, I think we're about to see a very high spike in homelessness. Is Carla still with us? I think yes, she is. I see her there. I saw this post from a person who lost a sibling, and this is exactly how my teenage daughter feels. It's just your vision, Brad. I'm not. I don't. I don't look young. It's just your vision, old man vision. So, thank you, Royola. No disrespect, Black Rain. Just curious. Yeah. So I think Black Rain will. Black Rain is. I don't know. I know there's black ice that can be on asphalt roadways that doesn't really look like ice but performs like ice, causes the car crashes like ice. Anyway, Lisa, I am like Jesus. Keep on knocking. I saw this post from another person. Yeah, okay. Carla, agree. The day you died, Rain's mama here says, the day you died, my mother turned into a ghost. Her howls were heard in the depths of the night. Her cries were heard in the wake of the mourning. Her absence was felt for weeks at a time. When you left, she left too. That that hurts, Carla. It's also beautiful. Carla, you ought to make a song after rain. I feel like there is a lot of inspiration. There's a lot of inspiration that is behind rain for Carla. Yeah, it's just a feeling, I guess, but I just know that rain. I feel like I feel like I knew rain. Black rain. I'm sorry I was away and inadvertently overlooked your message. No problem with asking. Black rain is just a username I got from my favorite documentary, White Light, Black Rain. Huh. White Light, Black Rain. That doesn't sound like one of our documentaries, but that's okay. It sent me back to the moment I made that decision, which I knew was right, but also painful. Should I start with making videos for other families? And it helped me. I think the coloring book would help you. I really think it would too. Writing a coloring book, making something that will work as an awareness thing and still be beautiful, have this chance to be beautiful and in the course of going through all that, make Rain a hero again, just over and over and over. Every time the story in the book, the stories in the book, the images in the book, the messages in the book touches a child and gets in there, Rain is a hero again. It's all right, Black Rain. I'll get over it. I do kind of feel like I need a tissue, but I'll be all right. Yes, Black Rain. We are all glad you're with us. Whether it's a favorite documentary or not, that's right. I I will clarify and say that it was one of the most informative documentary I ever watched. The full title is White Light, Black Rain: The Destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So a historical documentary. Yeah, I love those. I see those, and I would love to do stuff like that. The challenge for that is the budget for the archival footage. That that gets expensive fast. So yeah, that's one of the things that comes to me. That comes to my mind. Ah, yes, me too. Like in the historical documentaries. Okay, somebody asked what prompted me to start the channel. It was Miss Sheila. There it is. If you're still here, I will dive into that real quick. We started this YouTube channel in 2009, and for most of that time, we used the channel as just a way to showcase our work. We're a video production company, small one, very small. And most of the time that we've been in business since 2007. And for most of that time, we did industrial production work like training and safety videos and business to business kind of promotional videos and things like that. And a little bit of documentary style work. And that was certainly where my heart is. It's the documentary stuff. And so that certainly appealed to me a lot. No, we don't sell Lifesavers bread. And well, thank you, Black Rain. So we did some work involving impaired driving for the Houston Police Department, working with a team of volunteer high school students as part of our production crew, which was very cool. And that kind of got us known in some circles, and that led to Mothers Against Drunk Driving becoming one of our clients. And from there, we did work with more law enforcement agencies, and that led to the DEA hiring us almost 3 years ago to create stories like the stories we're doing, the fentanyl stories we're doing now at a fentanyl family summit that was here in Houston. And at that point, back in 2022, November 2022, December 2022, our channel had accumulated 1,600 or so subscribers. And that seemed kind of impressive to me. And then we started putting these fentanyl stories on our channel, and they took off. And since they took off, we kept doing it because clearly there's a demand and clearly it's an important message. And so as we kept doing it, everything kept growing. Our subscribers grew by leaps and bounds. And so as our audience grew, it became more and more important to broaden our stories to include other topics that have value to people, other stories that matter. So we expanded to a series of addiction recovery stories, and we have a series on human trafficking and another one on domestic violence and one on cannabis induced psychosis, a set of stories about impaired driving as well. And I think I'm forgetting one or two, but that's our evolution. That's how things came about. We really kind of stumbled into it, but felt like it was important to stay in it. So that's what we're doing. But it is about time to wrap things up. It is almost 9 o'clock here. And that was a message from our storyteller. Uh, she was here. I don't know if she's still here or not, but if you are, Sabrina, I got your message. How about that? Just like, well, thank you for asking, Sheila. Well, that sounds cool. It is when people start talking about it, it makes me start thinking about the other documentaries that are on our channel, and if I were to pick one that I thought was Brad, what's the weather like in you? It is a lot like Hawaii. You just come on, Brad, you'll love it. There's no traffic. Weather's like it is in Hawaii. It's great. Thank you, Black Ray. So one of the stories on our channel that we produce, it's a documentary about a police officer who's killed by a drunk driver here in Houston 12, 13 years ago. And it's called End of Watch, the Kevin Will story. It was a drunk driver drove through a police barricade on a closed freeway and struck an officer who was standing on the freeway and at over 80 miles an hour. And at the time, the officer's wife was 6 months pregnant. It's a rough story. How far is it from Galveston? It is way closer than Oklahoma City is. I am a little over 30 miles from Galveston. I can tell you by asking my GPS how long it takes to get to Galveston from where I'm sitting right now. And from where I'm sitting right now, 41 minutes from here to Galveston. So, anyway, I just thought I would share. I see Brenda is actually speaking. What happened? Brenda, have you been with us the whole time? Just hanging back, seeing how people get by without you? Is that what's going on there? Brenda says, remember what you take for granted, someone else is praying for. God bless you all for supporting me to 417. And didn't I say 417 earlier? Didn't I? I did. Yeah, it is it's a powerful story. And it I learned about this story because the Harris County District Attorney's Office, which is Houston, asked us to assemble some footage together, some footage, radio broadcasts, and other kinds of recordings into a real time thing for them to show to the jury during the sentencing phase of the driver who pled no contest. And that's how I learned about the story. And it just seemed like a powerful story. So made a documentary about it. It's almost 10 o'clock here in Atlanta. Been raining all day. Prayers for Jamaica. Yes, Miss Royal. Congratulations, Brenda, on your continued success. Dawn says, Lisa, I know you were saving lives in so many ways with the many things we are all doing to make awareness. I'll travel and talk to anyone who will listen, schools, church groups, whatever. Sheila says, congratulations, Brenda. Yes. So glad you're here, Brenda. Even teens that parents don't know how to talk to them. Yeah, Don. That's Brad says, Brenda, you're my hero. And I don't think Brad's joking around with that. You are a hero, Brenda. Yes, Don, remember I have those brochures about talk to your teens about fentanyl pills that are really good. If you need any, let me know and I'll mail you some. You're welcome, Don. It's true though. Yes, Jamaica is bracing for a Cat 5 hurricane. I had no idea. That's terrible. Scary. I see we have over 50 people in the room. We have 20 likes. Thumbs up. And Lisa says, good night, everyone. I'm off to bed. See y'all next premiere. Maybe. I think our next premiere will be Wednesday. Maybe. I'm pretty sure. Fentanyl Poisoning, episode 296. And it is from North Carolina. Jamaica's bracing for a Cat 5 hurricane. Viola, that's horrible. Thumbs up. That's right. Everybody, please click the thumbs up. Uh, that. Oh. So I see that we're over 60 people in the room now. So is there any other questions in the audience that you'd like to ask me, ask Texas Pictures, whatever? Thanks for looking out for me, Brad. I'm gonna be okay. It's just 9 o'clock, and just looking at at the audience. I just want to, before we wrap this up for the evening, I just want to make sure that there aren't any questions. Super May, thank you for being here. I just want to make sure there aren't any questions that anyone would like to ask before I wrap it up for this event. If there anyone who has any other questions for me, we can certainly address them in this wonderful, lively space with all these wonderfully crazy people. I am very grateful for you guys. Really am. Super May is a sponsor, as is Lisa and Dawn, and that's as high up as I can see on the chat right now. But and Kimberly and Brenda, and means a lot. Really means a lot. But anyway, it is. Yeah, kind of. Thank you, Viola. Thank you very much. All right, so it is going to be time to wrap it up. But I really, I always try to close by stressing to everyone, you're welcome to reach out to us anytime. That we're here from you and up for doing whatever we can to help you anytime. So let me tell you about the ways to get in touch with us. And to do that, you can reach us. Kristen, we're just wrapping it up, Kristen. Thank you, Super May. I appreciate everything you do, bringing us these very important stories. Thank you. I feel very blessed to get to do this kind of work. It is such a blessing to meet all the people that I get to meet and do things that help them. It's it's wonderful. Brenda says, Brad, if I'm your hero, you need to get out more. I like that. That's good. Brad clearly doesn't get out a whole lot, because he has to limit himself to places that have ramps. You been sad, Kristen? Ann Peterson. Good night, Carla. Love you. Thank you, Glenn, for keeping Brad busy for me. Don says, thanks for another great premiere tonight. Good night and hugs to all you here. Glenn, I'm so blessed to have gotten to know you and to do my story with you. Well, thank you, Don. Stacy Michaels, much appreciated, Glenn. Brenda says, Kristen, if you need to talk, hit me up at Brenda Miller, bgnmiller1 at gmail.com. And Kristen, if you're on Facebook, you should be in our storyteller group. You should friend me on Facebook and ask me to send you an invite in a private Facebook message. Okay, Melody. Well, that's what it says. But I'm just going by what it says. I try to keep track of names, but it happens. Thank you for all your kind words. I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you for being here, Carla. Thank you for being my friend. Brenda says, I have no questions because I haven't watched the premiere yet and just joined chat 10 minutes ago. Yeah, what's up with that, Brenda? But that's okay. Brad, you should go visit Glenn in Houston soon. You should. Come on down. We have a guest room. You'll even get a kick out of the room. It is, we call it the Texas room. It's cool. It is, it has memorabilia about the Republic of Texas, not the state, before the state, from 1836 to 1845. The Republic of Texas. That's where Sam Houston and Colonel Travis and Fannin and Bonham and the Alamo, Goliad, the Battle of San Jacinto, all of that. That was all the Republic of Texas. No state. It's its own country. Anyway, Kristen asked, do these premieres come out on certain days? Oh, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? No, they don't. We try to make a premiere happen every Monday night, tonight, and then every 2 or 3 days after that, every other day or every 2 days. You know, like the next one will be Wednesday, probably. So, so we try to make them every other day. And Brenda says, see, Brenda's on it. Kristen, these stories come out on average every other day, unless Glenn's on the road and the schedule gets all willy nilly. Yeah, that's really that's kind of it. And we still manage to keep publishing stories when I'm on the road because we have a few really special people who help us with the editing. I don't know when I'm coming through Oklahoma City. I don't think it'll be another time in Oklahoma City this year. We're going to be in Jackson, Mississippi, and I think that's going to be it for 2025. Maybe, but we'll see. Kristen says, thank you, Glenn, for saying hello to Kristen and shouting me out. Uh, so, Kristen, we'll talk more next time. All right, you can shoot me an email, find me on Facebook, Facebook message me, uh, whatever. And I'm glad to, Brad. Okay, kids. Oh, killing me, folks. We are, right now, we have 73 people as a part of this live event. I kind of hate to wrap it up, but it is pretty much time to wrap it up. We've been live for 75 minutes or so. And I feel like, Brad says I'm late. Yes, Brad, I have been to Toby Keith's restaurant a couple of times. I thought maybe we would be seeing you on stage when I was there. But then when I saw the stage and saw those steps that you'd have to go up, I. I was playing and singing to myself on piano. That seems like a mighty constructive thing, Kristen, and a good thing to do. What's the traffic like in Houston? Uh, it just it just flows, Brad. It just flows everywhere. You kind of get in your car and you just think about where you want to be, and suddenly you're there because traffic is that effortless everywhere in Houston. Yeah, you're believing me, right? And Kristen is right. Let's all hit the like button. We have 75 people in the room, and we have 29 thumbs up. And we could have a few more than that. So, what's the traffic like? Hit the like button. So, anyway, back to being about time to wrap this up. I am so grateful for all of you folks being here. I really am. It means so much to me that there is this opportunity to spread important stories and that you guys are here and you're engaged, you communicate. So I want to check once more if there's anyone watching who might have some sort of question that they'd like to ask me before we wrap up the broadcast tonight. The live event. I don't know. Broadcast. It doesn't sound that doesn't quite sound right. God bless you, Brad. Hope to see you soon, Brad. Hey, Brad, do you remember? Are you there? Are you gone? Did you go? Did you go? Did you go? I live for these lives with Glenn and all y'all striving for recovery and staying true to your higher powers. Well, thank you, Kristen. I guess Brad is gone. But next time, next time y'all can remind me to tell Brad something that stuck in my head when I met him in San Antonio way back when. Brad is here. So I remember when I met you, Brad, at that church right before we did the story, and you were wearing an Air Force T-shirt, and I remember thinking, I bet I could give him a hard time about that, and he and I would both have fun with that. That was a first impression that I got. It's a good one. Anyway, okay, Kristen, we love you to the moon and back, baby. Carla says, I hate life without rain. I honestly can't wait for heaven. If you have your child still, please enjoy every moment, even when it's hard. We're here for you, Carla, and Brad, and everybody else. All right, folks. She it's fine, Brad. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Anyway, if there's no other questions that just jump out really quick here, we are going to wrap it up. 'Cause we've been here for 82 minutes, a little over 82 minutes now, and really appreciate all the folks that are here. And Viola says good night to everyone. Love you, Carla. Brad says, "Damn, you look." All right. Hey, Kristen, you hang in there. Carla, hang in there. We're all together on this, right? All right. So let me remind everyone that you guys are all welcome to reach out to us anytime. And there's several ways you can do that. And so you can find us, you can reach us by email at info@texas-pictures.com. And I get those emails. That you can find me on Facebook under my name, Glenn Muse, and then message me with a Facebook message, and I can send you an invite to be part of our Texas Picture Storytellers group. We're also on TikTok, and you can learn more about us on our website, texas-pictures.com. You can find information about how to share your story, how to organize a storytelling summit. You can find a link to our merchandise store on the homepage on our channel. God. You'll find a link to the homepage on our website, as well as more information about us, a mailing address and phone number and all that cool stuff. So thank you all for being here with us, and we will talk to you next time. So good night, folks.